Conversation is coming up on your show. After talking with him, how do you explain Dallas's down year so far?
Well, I think a combination of a couple of things. Number one, their offense isn't that elite. It's ranked like 17th in the league, and primarily it's due to Luka and Porzingis not hitting three-point shots. He's shooting 31% from three-point range. Porzingis is about 33%. Those are the cornerstones of your franchise. They've got to shoot the ball a bit more efficiently. So you definitely have to point to that. They've got to play better defense as well, but you certainly can't have those two weapons as the cornerstone of your franchise and ranked 17th in offense, and you're relying entirely too much on perimeter shots. You're like top 10 in terms of three-point field goal percentage, but you're ranked damn near 30th in the league. And so you got to take those things into consideration, look at what you're doing, get the ball in the hole and play better defense. They know that because as of right now, they're 13th in the Western Conference, and that's not going to cut the mustard. Luka Doncic being just approaching age 22, already knowing that and speaking about that so eloquently, he deserves a lot of kudos for that. But then now they're going to have to go on the court and get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a team that was expected to be in the thick of the playoff race in the West. Now, another team that's struggling is the Nets. They've lost 3 straight. They play the Pacers tonight, but Kevin Durant was pulled for COVID concerns in the first of those 3 games, and he missed the last 2. How do you view this team as it's presently constructed?
Well, they're horrible defensively, primarily because they have a head coach who's very inexperienced, and he'll get his bearings under him. But Steve Nash was never known for defense as a player. I don't know why the hell anybody think he'd be known for defense now as a coach. We know that, so he's got a learning curve there. Also, let's not underestimate the absence of Kevin Durant. He only played 19 minutes in that game against Toronto that he was taken out Friday night because of COVID reasons, and he came off the bench because originally he was told not to start. So that kind of disrupted their flow, their chemistry to some degree, and anytime Kevin Durant is out, it's going to be problematic for them. Then you look at a loss like last night to Detroit. Once again, Kyrie Irving averaging 27 a game, electrifying this season. But him shooting twice as many shots as James Harden is not going to cut the mustard. This is a man that's averaged over 30 the last 3 years. He's James Harden. Even though he's averaging 24 and 11 on the season, damn near a triple-double, the reality is that you have to be a bit more diplomatic in distributing the basketball, and you've got to make sure you get others involved. Not just James Harden, but also Joe Harris, who's a pretty damn good shooter, shooting better than 50% from the field. To Jeff Green, who's shooting effectively from the field as well. If the Nets are going to be what we think they are, what I believe they will, because I believe they're coming out of the East, you've got to be able to make sure other people are actively involved. If you don't do that, you're going to fall, particularly when you don't play defense, because Steve Nash and Mike D'Antoni are not going to help you but so much in the department of defense. Offense, yes. Defense, please. We know better.
All right. Well, Stephen A., thanks. We're looking forward to your show coming up at the top of the hour right here on ESPN. Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Back to the NFL. Todd McShay's second mock draft released late last night, now available on ESPN.com. And here's what stood out. After Trevor Lawrence goes to Jacksonville at number 1, things get interesting at 2. Todd has the Jets going with BYU quarterback Zach Wilson, but Todd says that if the Jets keep Sam Darnold, a team will try to move up to get Wilson. And in this mock, you can make trades. He has 2 in the first round. The Panthers moved up and acquired the 3rd pick from the Dolphins to take North Dakota State quarterback Trey Lance, with Justin Fields going 4th to the hometown Falcons, and the Bears moving up to take Mac Jones later on. And the first wide receiver off the board isn't Devontae Smith. It's the Eagles taking LSU's Jamar Chase, 6th overall, the first of 3 straight receivers. Smith goes to the Lions. Jalen Waddle goes to the Dolphins to reunite with Tua. Todd's full top 10 here. We do see 4 straight quarterbacks taken to start the draft. That's never happened in the common draft era dating back to 1967. No defensive players off the board until the Broncos at 9. Todd McShay and Mel Kiper Jr. join us now with much more on McShay's second mock draft. And Todd, it's clear the draft begins at number 2 if you have Zach Wilson going there. Why did he make the jump from 4 to 2 in the first mock to the second mock?
Well, Kev, I finished my evaluations in terms of watching the tape on the top quarterbacks. And I think it's Trevor Lawrence 1, then there's a little gap, and then it's Zach Wilson, and then there's another gap, and then you get into Trey Lance from North Dakota State and Justin Fields from Ohio State. The Jets' situation is really interesting. We have so much movement in terms of the veteran quarterbacks, trades, free agency upcoming. What's going to happen and where do these guys land? I think Joe Douglas the GM for the Jets, basically trying to figure out, where does Carson Wentz go? Is Dak Prescott going to be in Dallas? Is Jimmy Garoppolo going to be in San Fran? What kind of offers can we get for that number 2 pick or for Sam Darnold potentially? So I think it comes down to that. If they move Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson should be the pick at number 2. If they don't, then I think they'll try to move back and get even more draft capital. And Mel, right now, they already have 2 first-round picks this year and 2 first-rounders next year.
Todd, you covered all the bases on the Jets. I just think that it's a sideways move if you go quarterback because you haven't improved your football team. You don't know if Zach Wilson's going to be any better than Sam Darnold. You don't know if that's an upgrade. So to me, you got to get better at other positions like
It's a heck of a lot less money, though, Mel.
I don't care about that. I'm trying to find the best quarterbacks to go up against Josh Allen and the rest of those great quarterbacks in the AFC and the NFL, Todd. If I believe Darnold's the guy, I'm going forward with him. If I think it's close, I'm still sticking with Darnold because I know what I have. I don't know what I'm getting with Zach Wilson. So to me, you're ahead of the game with Darnold. Build up the talent base around him. Don't make, as I say, that sideways move.
And we want to make sure everybody understands, in this mock from Todd, you can make trades. So that number 2 position is there for Zach Wilson if a team decides to move up there. All right, now, in the latest podcast here, it's called The First Draft, by the way. Love it. Released yesterday. Mel calls Trey Lance the most fascinating player in his 43 years of covering the draft. And Todd, why do you have this North Dakota State star, a guy that only played 1 game this past season, higher than Justin Fields in your latest mock?
Well, I'll agree with Mel. And I haven't been doing it 43 years, but I've been doing it 20, and he's a unique evaluation in that you only have this 1 showcase game that he played this past season, and he looked a little rusty. He came out and really wasn't firing on all cylinders. But you go back and study the 2019 tape, albeit versus competition that's not at the level of what Ohio State and Justin Fields is facing. But Trey Lance, to me, he's big, he's physical, he's strong, and he's mobile, extends plays, and I think the difference between he and Fields is that he processes things quicker. Now, Fields is probably a little bit more consistently accurate right now, but he likes to see his wide receiver come open, and he gets stuck on that first progression a lot. And I think Lance, with the proper development, has a chance to be a star in this league. He's just not quite there right yet.
Yeah, big level of competition difference between Fields and Lance, but I'm with you on talent. Josh Allen, talent. Justin Herbert, talent. Trey Lance, Justin Fields, both talent, Kev. I haven't made a call yet on who I like better, but talent usually wins out, and that will happen with those 2 quarterbacks going very high up in round 1.
I cannot wait to see your final evaluation there, Mel. And I know, Todd, you were still in the process, especially with quarterbacks 3 and 4 on your board. And for much more on these guys going back and forth, including a discussion on the top 3 wide receivers in the draft, check out their podcast, First Draft with Field Yates.
Kevin, the G League, the NBA's minor league, tipped off today. The showcase team to watch is the Ignite. That's the new team primarily made up of top draft prospects, being paid around $125,000 to bypass the likes of Duke and Kentucky and UCLA. Now, the Unite, you see them right there. The Ignite have 2 of the top 5 prospects slated for the 2021 NBA draft, including Jalen Green, who's ranked number 3. So the young stars were on display in the G League. There's Green, the Santa Cruz Warriors taking on his Ignite. And we begin with Green. Watch him right there. The smoothness right there. Finishing that contested layup. Look at him protecting the ball with his body, making sure having that patience to get in right there. And then later, Jonathan Kuminga finds Green. Excellent bounce pass. Easy dunk. Watch it again. It's like it's easy for these guys in the G League. They're making it happen. Now, Kuminga, also somebody to look at. Number 5 NBA prospect. He was just doing everything on the court. I mean, just watch the move right here. Tough shot off the glass, scores at will in the paint, finishes at the rim. I mean, this guy really feels like, Kevin, I feel like he can do it all right now. He's also finding his teammates. Check that pass out, right, to Brandon Ashley. Easy backdoor cut for the easy dunk right there. Great awareness by Kuminga. He finished with 19 points, 4 assists. And we're going to finish with Daishen Nix. He was the number 44 NBA prospect. Gets the ball in transition and makes it happen. Again, these guys making it look easy. Stepping through 2 defenders with a nice little Euro step. Finishing, getting the and one. Great effort by him. 12 points, 3 assists. The G League Ignite wins it 109-104. Jeremy Lin, by the way, played in this game at 18 points for Santa Cruz.
Fascinating to see that development, too, in the G League. Coming up, don't miss ESPN's cover story on the rise of Devin Booker. Hear how Kobe helped guide the Suns start down the path toward becoming an NBA great. This is SportsCenter.